Hey everyone, welcome to Impact Marketer. Today's guest is a digital marketer, investor, and co-founder of Cloud Consulting, a full-service digital agency that specializes in dealership marketing. Growing a nearly six-figure portfolio in stock investing since the age of 11, recently positioning Pendragon, a British-owned North American dealer group, as the number one Jaguar and Land Rover dealer in North America, positioning Chevy Puente Hills as the most improved digital traffic growth dealer in Southern California, and currently managing nearly six figures in monthly ads in an exotic car dealer group in Los Angeles. He's been featured in Vault magazine, and he's one of the few individuals I know that's been able to turn their love of the auto industry into a lifelong career. Please help me in welcoming Jeremy Bolanos.
Appreciate it, man. Way to gas me up, bro. You did well.
Yeah, dude, glad to have you on. What's going on?
I'm good.
Awesome, man. Let's dive straight in. I got a ton of things I want to talk about.
All right, awesome.
How did being a successful investor influence your digital marketing?
A lot with investing in digital marketing is analytics. So it's all about looking at, I think that's as far as it gets, to be honest, for me at least. Looking at balance sheets kind of correlates with looking at Google Analytics with all this, everything in that data. I guess the thing that really taught me what I learned from investing is patience. With marketing, you also have to A/B test, but there's a certain amount of patience where you can't be changing things all the time. You have to give it its chance and kind of work with what you got there. So, yeah.
Yeah, I think there's a really powerful mindset that comes with investing that can really help digital marketers because, yeah, digital marketing takes patience.
It does, man. It does. A lot of A/B testing and some aren't successful, but you learn from those, right? So just hopefully those unsuccessful ones don't kill your budget too much.
Yeah. Have you always run big budgets for your campaigns? What's the smallest
No.
budget you've run?
Yeah. So it's funny because the number one Ducati, number one Triumph dealership in North America when I worked for them was this small dealership in Southern California. It's in Brea. Their budget was $30 a month. So the efficiency that you had to kind of the efficiency just was on another level. You really had to be granular with what your targeting was. You really had to look at the 0 to 10 mile radius, the 10 to 30 mile radius, if it was worth conquesting. But after that, I started getting into big budgets, and yeah, that's that.
So
I think that actually taught me a lot too. So, sorry.
okay, what year was this? Because $30 a month sounds like it'll get you
Yeah.
like 10 clicks.
Oh, exactly, man. So that was 2015. I want to say 2015, 2014. Yeah, 2014, which hasn't been too long.
And you actually got results with $30 a month?
I would say we actually, for motorcycles, we actually got like maybe, I think on a good month, we'd sell like two cars or two motorcycles out of it. Besides that, I think that's as good as it got, to be realistic with you. I was also starting out as an intern there, so it was a lot of learning. A lot of my failures were through that though, and then I learned from them, and then decided like with a bigger budget I can learn faster, so I moved on from that position. But
So, okay. So so you took them to number one with that $30 budget, or
yeah,
did you just help them?
I helped them. I can't take all the credit for that. The I think what I really realized working with them was that the just like the way they were able to connect with their customers non-digitally had such a great impact on their sales. And that's the thing, is like I always thought like digital marketing was the one and all, the final thing. And then I noticed in this small dealership, like it was their customer service, it was that connection, it was gaining that retention. And it was really interesting learning that aspect before I really got into digital marketing, which is a great aspect to learn as well, because I think that's where value starts, in creating a connection with other people. So yeah.
And can you walk me through an example when you saw that customer service like just be absolutely excellent?
Yeah. So in the dealership, they don't come off as salesy. They come off as like, hey, are you looking at a Ducati? Well, like they learn their interest of their customer, and then they're willing to tell them about their competitors. They're willing to tell them about the people that that are, yeah, they're gaining, like, in exchange for information, they're gaining trust. And I think that's a value that not too many people see, is that that trust goes a long way, especially when in dealerships. Like it's almost enough for people to go away from one brand into another, just because, like, hey, I trust the salesman. I believe what he says, and his eyes, like, he's looking out for what's best for me, and that goes a long way.
Yeah. I mean, it's like the saying in marketing, you know, you got to give before you ask.
Exactly. I like
But
that.
in a very like genuine, authentic manner. No, that's super cool, man. You
Yeah.
mentioned some really important lessons you learned with that $30 a month budget. Can you share a few of them?
Yeah. All right. So the first one, for any amateur, I was like, oh, Facebook boost. Let me boost this. Just did that. $10. Like, that's practically wasting $10. If you're not getting granular, if you're not like using Google Analytics with a small budget like that to like specifically target areas of interest or capability, it's it's a waste of time. That honestly took me half a year before I actually learned that aspect, which is kind of sad on my part. And then I think
When you say target areas of interest and capabilities with Google
yeah.
Ads or AdWords or Analytics, sorry, what does that mean?
Yeah. So when it comes to that, it's actually targeting like zip codes where people are capable. Like you could look at like I don't know, use Experian for instance, or use this application called Zip Driven to actually look at income levels in your 0 to 10 mile radius zip codes, or you actually look at people's interest levels when it comes to, I don't know, like super sports sold in those 0 to 10 mile radius zip codes as well. And then you combine those interests and capabilities, and you actually design your marketing campaign after that, right? You design it based on what are people looking for and what can they afford. So you kind of A/B. That's where you start. Well, that's where I start. So yeah.
Cool, man.
Yeah.
Any other lessons from your failures there?
I would say that in digital marketing, you have to be very logical with what you're learning. So what I mean by that is when you're looking at Google Analytics, you have to look at, all right, well, this Facebook boost, did it target people in areas where people are actually wanting to buy, and you're actually looking at triggers and different conversion rates and uh, different Google Ads goals, and um, it's making sure, or basically what I learned, just to sum it up, is learn what your customers are doing on your website, and learn what your buyers are doing on your website, and then most importantly, learn what just tire kickers are doing on your website. Like, you don't want to be wasting money on people that are just browsing. So yeah.
Mm-hmm. And how do you set up your website to be able to track that?
Yeah, so simple things like Facebook pixel. You could do Google AdWords conversions. You could do Google AdWords goal tracking. Those are the simple ones, and honestly, they're very underrated. And I think once that's what takes a beginner to maybe like an amateur novice level. Did I say novice? Sorry, early in the morning. But
Novices here.
but yeah, that's honestly like once you start like being able to learn those aspects and learn what you can do with those, such as retargeting and whatnot, man, that really opens the doors and really made me interested in digital marketing. So
Can you get into some of those retargeting strategies?
yeah. So actually based on for example, like the Newport dealership, you actually, there's something called a VDP for dealerships. This is a vehicle description page. So with this, you can set a timer, like example, like 30 to 60 seconds or 90 to 120 seconds on a conversion for Google. And then you can actually retarget these customers with a different ad, and you actually look into like if these customers are wanting to lease or wanting to finance based on the information that's coming through like Experian or Zip Driven. So that's one strategy.
Okay, so essentially, on this VDP, which is like an e-com listing page, you segment how long someone stays on the page, and you retarget them based on that.
Exactly. So So back to interest capability, that's kind of like showing what they're interested in, and if they're not just a tire kicker. Yeah.
Okay, so you don't retarget the window shoppers essentially.
Exactly.
Got it. Interesting. Okay. And and do you just have one retargeting sequence, or do you do like one retargeting sequence for the 30-second people, but it's just a longer nurturing sequence to get them interested or more interested because they're still interested but not as interested as the 90-second guy?
That makes sense. Yeah, so it really depends on your budget. If that allows for your budget, then it's worth like A/B testing. But if you're noticing that you're spending $500 and these people aren't converting to lead forms, or they're not converting to I'd say to actual leads either in the service or sales departments, it's not worth going after. So it's different with every brand, it's different with every location. But I think just it really emphasizes looking at the numbers and seeing if it's working for you. Like, yeah.
Sure, man. And how different was it when you started managing massive budgets compared to your Ducati days?
Yeah. So that's the biggest growth that I got. It allowed me to A/B test, and it allowed me to A/B test multiple campaigns. So that's where the passion really came in, is I was able to really figure out what worked and what didn't work. And I think that's what makes anybody better is realizing the best practices in your field of expertise. And yeah, so that was the biggest change that happened there. Yeah.
Interesting. How do you run your A/B tests?
Yeah. So when it comes to an A/B test, it's basically sometimes it's stupid and seeing if people like corny messages, or if it's seeing like what zip codes are people actually buying in, or so it really matters on I guess the different opportunity levels. I think basically that. I run my A/B tests based on the different opportunity levels that just come about in the information that I get through my data. So yeah.
But how do you set it up for someone that doesn't know how to set up a split test?
Sorry, repeat that one more time?
Like, how do you set it up in Google AdWords?
Oh, I see. So basically, it's not like Facebook where you could literally just click split test, A/B test. For me, I actually build two campaigns, and wherever that difference maker is, just simply change that messaging. simply change that whatever uh, uh, a variable I'm changing, just change that. See the results in the next month. I think that in the automotive field, there's so many trends. Um, there's so many things that come to play that you actually have to give it at least 30 to 60 days A/B test to actually see its performance. Yeah, and I'm sure it's different in other people's fields too. I'm actually interested in knowing that as well. So yeah.
Interesting, man.
Yeah.
I mean, when we run split tests on Facebook, we don't use that split test button.
Really? Why is
I've heard it's just not accurate. Is the feedback that
interesting.
everyone
Yeah.
says. Yeah. So I run 2 different campaigns too.
Yeah.
And I do it by clicks. Like
Mm.
if the budget allows, we go for like greater than 200 unique clicks.
Okay.
And if it
I like
doesn't
that.
allow, then we'll just do like 30 clicks.
I see.
If it's like real aggressive, we'll like test 10 clicks.
I see.
And
That makes sense.
it's not a true split test because of how Facebook gets into different audience cohorts, but it's like
interesting.
it's the best you got, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
Right.
Facebook's just going to choose, in the beginning in the learning phase of that ad set, a specific segment. But yeah, so yeah, that's just how I've done split tests. That's why I was curious to know how you did it on like AdWords, but it sounds very similar.
Yeah, so you actually build 2 different campaigns instead of doing the A/B split test as well, then. Yeah.
Correct. Yeah. Well, yeah, it's really 2 ad sets, but
yeah,
same.
That makes sense. Yeah. So with that, is that like what kind of budgets do you I guess give towards those A/B tests?
Yeah, so no more than $10 a day.
That makes sense. I like that. Yeah.
Just because the way I've learned Facebook ads is that one, it needs time. So the first 2 to 3 days, like it's always going to be crappy. So don't blow higher budgets on that. And then yeah, like don't scale unless it's being effective with the spend.
That makes sense.
Yeah. I'll double ad spend until it hits like around $50-ish.
Okay.
And I'll stop doubling it from there.
Oh, okay. That makes sense. Awesome. Thanks, bro.
Yeah, cool, man. let me know how it works in the dealership space.
Yeah, for sure.
Cool, man.
Yeah.
And this is slightly on a tangent. But investing, like I'm assuming some marketers are interested because they're business owners, and no one really talks about investing in a very casual way as you do. Like, so what's been like your investing strategy, and what success have you seen with it?
So I actually learned from Warren Buffett, like as a lot of people learn from. So basically what I do is I look at balance sheets. That's it. And I make sure that I make sure that in the long run that these stocks are still going to be there, but also are looking to improve. And not only are they looking to improve, but are they willing to execute? And you can really tell that from the balance sheet. You can really tell that from the news that's going out for that company. Basically, if the numbers check out, invest in it. I only pick up to like maybe 5 to 6 stocks. Invest in it, and then just be patient. Invest in it. You invest in it for a reason. I'm sure you had, like, for me, I have multiple reasons why I invest. Only on big triggers, like if the next balance sheet shows like a negative 25%, I don't know, profit margin or something like that, or something like that, or where I really decide like, okay, maybe I didn't look at the numbers, or like maybe like, all right, well, I need to fix how I looked at this, because it's all about perspective. But the reason why you initially invested, because you really believe that the stock would be great in the long run. And that's it. And just being patient for about a year. I give every investment 1 year before I actually make big changes or actually sell off the whole investment. So, or yeah.
All right, so I pick up a balance sheet or I load a balance sheet on my browser. What am I
Yeah,
looking at?
yeah. So you look at, for me, it's debt to equity ratios. It's looking at if their profit margins are growing. It's looking at if their actual sales are growing. It's honestly it's not too much rocket science if you're seeing that this company is growing and investing in itself, which the balance sheet actually tells you. Um, then for me that's worth it. But it's also like everybody wants to get rich really quick, and that's why I emphasize being patient. Because if you're a short-term investor, things are very volatile. But as history shows in the stock market, like the stocks in general are going up. So it shows that patience is huge in investing, and I think it's an undervalued asset. Like when I said I invested at 11 years old, I invested at 11 years old, and by 12 years old, I lost all my money in those investments. But I learned from that, and I was like, all right. At 13 years old, I invested again, gave it more time. What didn't act upon emotions in the news, was able to filter the noise, and yeah, it really shows like time in the market beats timing the market. As cliche as that sounds, that was the biggest value that I got through just being patient as young as I was.
Sorry, what was that saying again? What was it?
Yeah, time in the market beats timing the market. So
Okay. Got
exactly.
it. Cool, man. Yeah, I thought you said time in the market beats time in the market. I was like, wait, you said the same thing twice.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, man. Yeah, have you been doing investments yourself before?
Only into foreign exchange.
Gotcha. Oh man, yeah.
Yeah,
All right, that's
I
another
lost
beast.
I lost 50% of my investments, and I had
Happens.
no patience, and I freaked out, and I just stopped.
I mean, it was a lesson. It was an expensive lesson, but I mean, everyone's got to learn somehow, right? So.
Yeah. No, but I think the methodologies that went into the trading that I learned definitely helped with
Yeah.
but we did two different styles. Like when I was doing technical analysis and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Because for me, like it was a principles-based approach to doing something, which I think works well in life and also in marketing. Like for instance, principle for me, like letting a Facebook ad set running for 3 days at least before I do anything to it.
Smart.
Even though, like, I may be looking at it thinking I could totally change something now.
Oh my goodness, yeah.
Yeah.
I think everyone wants to be. I think people mistake doing something always as being productive, and it's honestly, for me, that's not always the answer.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. Like busy work doesn't always mean effective work.
There you go. Better way to say that. Yeah.
Cool, man. And what has it been like to work at an exotic car dealerships and sell like Bugattis?
Oh my goodness. It's it it's so, I don't even know. Like I still can't believe I made it this far. I think like how it is it's your clientele is so different. Like these people are multimillionaires, and they're multimillionaires mostly because they're smart or they have rich parents. But either way, you create a digital marketing campaign to really analyze and A/B test what's working and what's not working, of course. And yeah, it's understanding a totally different demographic than Chevy or Jaguar, Land Rover, BMW, whatever. So yeah, it's really interesting because these people, either they're impulsive or they're super intelligent. Yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah. So how does that messaging work? I'm sure it's way
Yeah,
different. Like
yeah,
how do you set up that messaging?
yeah. So a lot of the messaging, um, so it really depends what brand, of course. So like let's take McLaren for instance. These people, like the people that buy McLarens, they're the enthusiasts. They're people that know like McLaren's racing history. They know the performance behind the McLaren. They're not really doing it to be the flashiest people. So you actually target them based on like you show the, I guess, the benefits, or you show the characteristics like the 0 to 60 mile time. You show the, did I say mile per hour time. You show the characteristics like the lightweight exhaust, the carbon fiber chassis. When it comes to brands like Lamborghini, you try to sell the lifestyle that the Lamborghini gives. You show that what kind of looks does the Lamborghini give to people when you're driving in Los Angeles and Hollywood. Yeah, it's different for every brand, and I think that's the part that I love so much about the automotive field, is that every brand has a specific customer, and then you have to learn your prey, right? You have to learn what these people are looking for, and you also got to see, as a car enthusiast myself, like what can I offer them? Like how do I change or how do I give them for perspective that I see? And yeah. Mm-hmm.
So how do you learn each customer persona per brand? Is this given to you by the dealership, or do you do surveys?
Yeah, so I think that's where passion comes into play. I think that's where just me being a car enthusiast and having an understanding of not only of what these vehicles are capable of, but what type of people are actually driving them. Just having that background of just being an enthusiast myself. I think when you're marketing something, you're kind of giving a part of yourself to those customers. You're giving them like, man, this car is so cool or so freaking amazing that I want to share that experience with you. And what do those customers want to see? What do they want? Do they want to see the lifestyle? Do they want to go around the track the fastest? Right. For me, it's anything car related. So it's all of it. It's all of it. But it's kind of divvying up my interests and my passion to those specific customers. So I think with anything you're marketing, that you should have a passion for it. Yeah, because you're giving people your perspective on what you think that they'll enjoy. So. Mm-hmm.
Sure, but isn't there like a ton of different brands? So you're saying you know all the personas of all the brands just because you're an enthusiast?
Yeah, when you're an enthusiast, man, all you do is watch car videos. So
yeah.
I would say that's not 100% of it, but another aspect is actually working with the sales team. That's very underrated. Working with the sales team. All right, who's purchasing? Just having a conversation with your sales team and seeing what kind of interests were they? What do they do for a living? Do these people, are they interested in tracking the car, or are they interested in the events that we're hosting for McLaren or Lamborghini? And that really tells a lot about their persona. A lot about what they're buying the car for. And yeah, that's another way of getting information that's not Google Analytics or anything like that. So
yeah, okay, cool, man. What's like the most expensive car you sell?
Oh my goodness. It would have to be, I think it's like a 4.3 million Koenigsegg. And then there's the Bugatti Chiron's pretty close. I don't know the price on that, but
I think
yeah,
the Bugatti's like 2.3 or something.
Yeah, 2.3, 2.5, somewhere around there. It depends how custom you want it, but
yeah,
these are ridiculous. Like those are like 10 homes in Riverside. So
yeah. And what's the campaign strategy behind like one of those cars?
yeah, so those people want to feel exclusive. The reason they're wanting to to buy those cars, they want to be the best, and they want to know that maybe only 10 people in the world have that car as well. So not only do you have to start in it, like when you're marketing those products, you have to be reaching them in a way that's that makes them feel special. So what you don't highlight, what you do highlight are basically the things that make them feel like they're the best. You highlight the materials in the interior. You highlight the, I don't know, maybe it's the fact that it's the fastest car in the world or whatnot. But the thing is, these people are interested in being the best, and you feed that interest of theirs, right? So because when people are looking at these cars, um, they and they're actually interested, the price isn't anything to them. You know, these people are like, they better be multimillionaires or they're gonna be in debt. But
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, these people aren't interested in what the price tag says or like what the price tag is. They want to be the best, and that's how you market it to them. That when you buy this car, nothing even competes you on the road. So
And like, how do you target these people?
yeah, so you actually, a lot of it is going through your past database, or you go through sites like, not necessarily cars.com, but maybe like DuPont registry or something like that, where these people that have that type of money are looking at like not only performance, but they're also looking at lifestyle. It's the very niche, um, the very niche, I guess, maybe, am I using this right? Like mediums, right? Where these people are to, going to be, I guess, looking, and not only looking, but um, also a place where people can actually be forwarded information on that vehicle. So DuPont registry is probably the best practice right now, just because all the very exclusive cars are there and people know it. Yeah, right now I think that's the best advice I could give. But that's, of course, when it comes to $2.3 million cars. It's a lot of different strategy when it comes to maybe Honda or Toyota or something like that.
Got it. So these are only like the
Mhm.
supercars, like not McLaren or Lamborghinis.
Exactly. And yeah, I think another aspect that I saw was that a lot of these super rich billionaires, um, they hang out with super rich billionaires, and so it's almost like you're using your events team in that case, and you're creating events catering for people to bring that Bugatti Chiron. You're catering to those people to bring their cars, because when they bring their cars, they also bring their friends, and those friends, they see that lifestyle and they want it, and yeah, you just start to really engage them and create an interest for them. So yeah.
Nice. Yeah, it's this entire ecosystem between the events team and the marketing team, as well as the sales team, that
Exactly.
all work together.
Exactly. It's very underrated, because I think people like to divvy it up, and that shouldn't be happening, because when it comes to a dealership, I think that everybody has their own perspective on it, and you're getting these perspectives, and you're learning from it. You always have to be learning, because the recent car market is changing so much, where people aren't buying cars, they're taking Ubers and Lyfts and whatnot. So you have to get really granular with your digital marketing, making sure your ad spend is going to interested and capable buyers. So
Hmm. Cool, man. And
yeah.
you know what word of advice
Mhm.
could you give, I guess, dealership owners or marketing directors, like what are the best practices that you see not being practiced, I guess, at dealerships across the country?
Yeah, so oh my goodness. Yeah, so the thing is, like, these dealerships are being sold into digital marketing agencies that are big already. So I don't want to name them, but these big agencies they're big for a reason, but that means your competitors are using the same agencies. So there's no, in the agency's mindset, as long as they're keeping you as a client, they don't have to make adjustments on the fly, right? So with the smaller agencies or the smaller, like maybe even a consultant or something, these people are getting very granular with your messaging. They're getting very granular with who you're targeting. You're saying mistakes, right?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So that's the biggest mistake is going with a big agency and not paying attention and not knowing yourself of if your competition's using those same agencies, because honestly, you'd go on Google and you'd see the same message on or the same ad copy on on those searches, and it's like, all right, if there's no difference, you're paying these guys so much money. You're just wasting money at that point, honestly. Yeah.
Wow. So that's like the biggest thing that you see.
Yeah, exactly. These agencies, they're not trying to build your brand. They're not trying to differentiate you, and it's sad because they're just trying to keep you as a client. And unless you're a digital marketer yourself and you're not understanding what's happening, it's very easy to be sold on that. Yeah, because there's a reason that they're big, and sadly, it does affect their regional performance. And yeah.
Cool, man. Last question.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What do you want to be known for in 10 years?
Known for in 10 years. Oh man, if you asked me this in college, I wanted to be the digital marketing director, or no, I wanted to be the marketing director for Toyota. But now I noticed, like, I love the competition of dealerships. I love being known as the number one, like, dealership in Southern California, and I think I just want my name to be related to being the guy that loves cars so much that he understands what people are wanting in a vehicle, whether it's a Prius, whether it's a McLaren, or anything else like that. It's I have such a passion for this where honestly it doesn't feel like work for me. It feels like just a hobby. So I think that's where I want people to realize is that and that work really reflects your passion, and that I don't know. Yeah, I guess that I don't know if I can go too deep in that, but yeah, just the guy that loves marketing what he loves and giving value to customers that he thinks can get value from the vehicles that he markets. So yeah.
You want to be the car whisperer.
Exactly, man. Exactly, man.
Cool, dude. Thanks so much for being on, man. Where can people find out more about you?
Yeah, so you can message Cloud Consulting, or you can go to my Instagram is Jeremy from Marketing, or you can actually email me at jeremybolanosmarketing@gmail.com. So yeah.
Cool, man. And where could they message you for Cloud?
Yeah, so on messaging me for Cloud, they could just go to cloudconsulting.com, right?
Yeah,
Yes?
I mean, okay. Is it spelled like CLOT or UT?
Oh, KLOUT. Yeah, sorry.
Cool. Okay. Cool, man.
Yeah.
Thanks for being on.
Yeah, man. Thanks for having me, brother.
Bye.